That is a terrific goal. Humdinger.
As brings down the ball, that's fantastic. No offside. He's put Cienza through. Cienza's in behind Devlin in the box. Just man to beat and does so.
Good goal, good play.
Leo Cienza wakes up at Fratton Park. Prowse, he is going to have a dart. It's a wonderful, wonderful goal from James Ward-Prowse.
For Ricky Lambert, a pure strike right into the top corner. No chance for Asmir Begovic.
Oh, tremendous equaliser. Oh, what a goal that was within seconds of the restart. Marian Bahars has brought Southampton level.
It's Smallman! Now the City roars! That is fantastic.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome along. Thank you for your patience. If you're tuning in live watching this, we had a massive technical error when I tried to log into my system that brings through all the data. My data provider, it just wasn't working. And I can't do this show without the overlays because it's all about transfers, players, and there's so much that I need to bring through into these episodes. Thank you all very much for tuning in. It's great to have you here. Somebody said in the chat a minute ago, why are they so late? Mate, we have them all over the shop in terms of hours. I did one at 10 o'clock this morning. I'm doing one at 10 o'clock tonight. I'm doing another one at 6 o'clock tomorrow. And it's available to catch up anytime you want. If you're tuning in live, we can make it a little bit more interactive. But the beauty is that it's available and catch up. Cannot please everyone. We have a huge amount of people that tune in from overseas. So it's a great show. Those and read them out. And once we get live again tomorrow, we will be able to get you back involved and on the screen. I'm saying hello to everybody's here. I know there's a lot of people that come through. Someone messaged me today, said, oh, I said hello, you didn't say hello. It's like, I try and do my very, very best to say hello to every single one of you. I appreciate you all being here, first and foremost. Right, let's get into the transfer show. Let's get into the big story. Adam Armstrong's off. That's done. We spoke about it in the show this morning. We didn't think it was going to be Wolves, though. But it did. It was emerging around mid-morning. David Ornstein, one of the best reporters in the British Isles, covers a lot of football content, and he broke it mid-morning. Adam Armstrong set to join Wolves. The deal is ridiculously low, in my opinion. £7 million plus £2 million in add-ons seems very, very low. It was reported by Ornstein. Armstrong has struggled at Premier League level, but Wolves, they're at the bottom end of the the Premier League, and they will be a championship club next season. Will Wolverhampton Wanderers? I just find it bizarre, don't you, that we're signing somebody that's going to end up playing against us next season. Someone that's going to probably thwart our season next year. You know, we will be up against it next season. There is no doubt about it. We will be up against it. Second season syndrome in the championship will be hard. And let's be honest. Let's not dress it up. The chances of us getting in the playoffs, I think, are pretty slim. Look, we might do, but I am very intrigued, and unlike every single one of you in the chat, we'll all be saying the same thing. We will be thinking, will we end up closing this window tomorrow night at 7 p.m. weaker or stronger? And as it looks at the moment, we are losing our top goal scorer, a man that signed a contract at the start of last season. The start of the Premier League campaign, he extended his deal. It was to run another season. Look, I know there's a fee involved, but he is almost irreplaceable at this level at the moment. Unless you've got someone better to come in, I find it a little bit annoying because this man will probably score 10 goals between now and the end of the season. Do the deal in the summer. There isn't anyone better to come in. So I'm a little bit agitated by it. I'll be honest. I'm all for clearing the deadwood. I think he's probably had his time. But at the moment, we don't have a better replacement. And until we got a better replacement, let's not do this deal. Unless there is somebody we don't know about, that there's somebody secretly tucked away that we don't know about. But the transfer will come about because Cyle Larin is edging towards a move to Crystal Palace. Armstrong's going to have his medical tomorrow morning, and he will be a Wolverhampton Wanderers player, you would think, by the time the window shuts tomorrow night at 7 p.m. There was talk of Shay Adams, ex-Southampton striker, going back to Wolves, but it is Adam Armstrong. And I think for them, though they feel a little bit underwhelmed by this bit of business, Wolverhampton Wanderers fans, I do think it is very good for them for next season, and I don't think it's great for us. Right, we need to talk about that man on the screen, because Saints look like they have a replacement lined up. A guy that I've never heard anything about before. I'll be honest. I'm not going to dress it up. I spent all night trying to find out a bit more about him. Well, all afternoon since the story came about. It was the Sun's reporter that broke this one this afternoon. A very good reporter, quite close to Southampton, very respectable journalist. He broke this story, and it's Cyle Larin, 30 years old. He's 6'2", central striker, can drift to the left. You want to know a bit more about him now, don't you? You want to know who this guy is and where he's played. How many goals has he scored? We'll go through that very, very shortly, but let's have a little bit more of a look at his profile. Well, what kind of striker is he? He is a box-present striker, they say. Very much likes to get himself in the penalty box, needs service. He's an aerial threat, strong in the air, they say. Not had loads of service in the last couple of years. Link-up play is key for him. He's quite underrated in that area, apparently, though he's not had loads of game time recently. Scored a lot of goals for Canada. He's one of, if not their, I think he's their second top goal scorer in all time. So he's been good for Canada. He's not a flashy striker. He's efficient, they say. We're going to get some more about him tomorrow, because I will drop a very, very good video tomorrow. I just need to line it all up and put everything in place. But we will go and do a deep dive into this striker, and we will bring you everything we need to know about him if he's going to sign for us. He's not massively mobile, not a runner. He's not going to get in behind strikers, defenders as a striker. He's not going to press with intensity. And some of the clips I've seen kind of go head towards that as well. His injury record, he's been injured 3 times this season already from looking at his injury spells. He's very much a family man. He's got 3 daughters. I watched an interview with him earlier. He wants a clear role and trust from his club. He had a really tough time at Mallorca, one of my favourite islands to go on holiday, Mallorca. And it just didn't work out for him over in Spain. Well, he started his football playing in Canada. I went to Orlando City and played in the MLS. He played approximately 87 games. He scored 43 goals. And then he went over to Besiktas in Turkey, and he played 108 times for them. He scored 39 goals. And then he had a period of time in Belgium, and he scored 9 goals in 33 games. Not even going to try and pronounce the club. I did practice before I come on camera, but I'm not actually going to make myself look an idiot and pronounce it. He then went to Real Valladolid in Spain. Didn't really do a great deal there. 19 games, 8 goals. But had a bit of time at Club Bruges. 10 appearances, 1 goal. And then he ended up at Real Mallorca. He's played 76 times for them in total and scored 14 goals. And he got loaned out from Mallorca because he was desperate for game time. He was left out of the squad at the start of the season. They were playing Barcelona, I saw, and he was left out. And he was desperate to go and get some game time. And that's how he's ended up where he is at Feyenoord. And he has not played a great deal there. I think Van Persie is the manager at Feyenoord, but yeah, not played a great deal of football there, mostly been off the bench. And the 1 goal that he did score was in the Europa League against Panathinaikos. That's the only goal he scored. He's had 1 assist, but he's not had loads of game time. Right, I will come to your chat. I can't put it on the screen because there's issues with the provider, which is really frustrating because I like to bring your comments up on the screen, and it's just really annoying when I can't do that. But I'm just going to go through the chat and just read what you are all saying. He scored 19 goals in 4 years, which works out at 4.7 goals a season. Not a great deal of goals at all, John. Dan says, why let a proven championship striker go and let someone who doesn't know the league? Exactly what I'm saying. Nick's in the live. Nick, thank you for tuning in as always, mate. Having watched his videos, looks like he can hold the ball up well. His touch doesn't look great to me. His finishing and goal both record look underwhelming. And they do, don't they? They do look very underwhelming. And it does look and feel a bit like a Damien Downs Mark II. The thing that I struggle with, most of our strikers, except for Armour, is always finding themselves in the right position. Finding yourself in the right position, Mega, is absolutely vital, isn't it? Mike Byers is in. True story. Pierrot was in Southampton last week. Talks came from a good source. Obviously, nothing came of it. It still could. It still could be in the pipeline that we don't know about. We just don't know. I was under the impression that he wanted to stay at Leeds. We will do some digging. Is this a Spurs thing? I don't know, mate. Is it a Spurs thing? I'm not so sure, mate. If it is all down to Johannes Spurs, he's in charge of recruitment. Whether he's been told what to do from above. I read an article the other day. I think it was on one of the fans' forums that a lot of it's done on spreadsheet data. They spend a lot of time looking at spreadsheet data. How true that is, I don't know, but that was on a forum. There was an article that I read around Rasmus Ankerson, and that's how they like to do things. I think he's still pretty heavily involved. There you go. There is Cyle Larin's stats for the season at Feyenoord. They're underwhelming. 1 goal, 15 appearances, only played 418 minutes. Hardly played any football at all. 17 shots, a goal conversion rate of 6%, shot accuracy of 54%, shots off target 5, and the fans there seem quite pleased that he's moving on. He had a bit of a stinker against Real Betis last week. So yeah, extremely underwhelming if this is going to be the man that is going to replace Adam Armstrong. It does seem like Adam Armstrong wanted out. His agent's been busy all January, and I kind of his body language suggested to me that he was a little bit looked like he was coming to the end of his time here. But you know, end of the day, he's under contract with the club, and he probably at the start of the season was looking for a move. But hey ho, you know, he's under contract. If we haven't got anything better, don't do it. Not for that. It's just a slim amount of money. Justin's in. We have to give him a chance. Absolutely, we do. It looks like he's going to be poo. Yeah, I agree. But we have to give him a chance. Keep your chat coming. I'll keep reading through them. Just a shame I can't bring him on the screen, which is really frustrating when I'm paying a huge amount of money for the system and you can't bring the chat through. I don't necessarily think it's all their fault, but it is really, really frustrating. 30-year-old on loan is a stopgap to the summer. Does feel that way, doesn't it? It does feel that they're trying to get to the summer and just reevaluate things, or do they just not want to spend any money at the moment? Very unimpressed by Larin. His career is on the downturn. He peaked in Turkey. From what I read and the articles that I've read today, the boy peaked in Turkey. That's how it looks. And he struggled in Spain. Not played loads of football. Getting him up to speed is going to be a big issue, isn't it? That is your big thing. Is can you get him up to speed quick enough when he's not been playing loads of football? We need somebody, unfortunately, that is going to hit the ground running. Not quite a done deal, but the reports are, it's not been announced by the clubs, but there you go. Adam Armstrong has got a deal sheet on my carousel now. The Southampton top goal scorer is being sold this January. One player I didn't think it was going to be sold this January was Adam Armstrong. I am really, really surprised. I'm a little bit gutted about it, and he gave me one of the best days of my life. And when I met him in person, I did tell him that as well, because he was, he was brilliant, wasn't he? Absolutely brilliant in that playoff final for Southampton against Leeds United. Just wonderful on the day. Right, what else do we have on the transfer show tonight? Right, we will come on to a man. It'd be interesting to see if anything happens with Sam Edozie. Will he end up leaving in the next couple of days? It looks like he could do. He did have a bit of interest a few days ago, and I don't think it, from what they're saying, has not come to anything just yet. But Sam Edozie not played any football for Saints this year, but I did see on the Total Saints podcast tonight, the Echoes reporter Alfie House did say on there, he did go on to say that, well, that he'd be reintegrated back into the squad. He would be reintegrated back into the squad. I thought he was already. I thought he was already reintegrated back into the squad, but he said tonight on the show that he's going to be reintegrated if he doesn't get sold and he doesn't find a move. At the moment, they haven't been able to find him a move. The other one is around Joe. Oh, yeah, the club's interested in Edozie, by the way. Interested. Feyenoord, the club that we're looking at to bring the striker in from, Larin, Feyenoord, they were also linked with Sam Edozie last week. Edozie's been linked with Derby County and Millwall, but Saints didn't want to do a deal with a Championship club. But they've just about to sell Adam Armstrong to a club that's going to be in the Championship with us next season makes no sense whatsoever, does it? Doesn't make any sense. I find it absolutely bizarre what's happening. I really do. I think you all probably feel exactly the same. I will come back to your chat very shortly. We're going to come on to Joe Aribo now, because Joe Aribo is at the centre of a bit of transfer speculation as well. He is off and he is going to be heading to, would you say, a Championship rival? I don't think they're going to do a great deal this season, are they? Let's be quite honest about it. But this is his season stats for Southampton. Joe Aribo pretty much been right out of the squad for a long period of time now. He's off. He's going to go to Leicester. Leicester in an absolute disarray at the moment. They don't even have a manager. Just 7 appearances this season. He's only made 35 passes in the whole of his season, and a player that we just need to move on now. There was talk they're going to. I heard on the Saints network tonight they were talking about 70% of his wages being paid. I don't know if that's true. I don't know where it come from. I did hear it whilst I'm watching their podcast tonight. So yeah. If they're going to cover a large chunk of his wages, his deal's out in the summer anyway. Just move him on. Right, I'll come back to some of your chat. Aribo will probably turn into prime JJ Okocha at Leicester, says Dan. Yeah, you wouldn't be surprised, mate. You just wouldn't be. You wouldn't be surprised if he is. If they take him on loan, Saints make sure he can't play against us anyway. I don't think they're going to be anywhere near the playoffs, are they? Being a great. Yeah, Derby have been good this year. Ben Brereton Diaz, by the way, there was talk that I read somewhere today. Could he come back? I didn't really think about it. He's been playing well though for Derby County. Someone mentioned Derby there, and a bit of talk that he may end up coming back. Can't imagine that he'd want to come back. Neither would you. Is Ben Brereton Diaz? I don't rate him at all. Rebo's first touch of a donkey, said somebody there. What happened to the Larios thing? He returned to us and was supposed to be getting sold. Don't think he's gone anywhere. No, he hasn't. Nothing ever got announced, didn't it? Nothing ever got announced. I'd like to say something about Cyle Larin. I've been watching him because some of my family support Ajax, but whenever he plays, he doesn't look like much of a threat. He is fast and strong, though. Thank you very much for that one. We're going to try and get a bit more of a lowdown tomorrow on this striker. We'll get a little bit more of a deep dive into him, and that's what I like to try and do on the channel. We like to try and get people on that can give us a little bit of an insight into players if we can, and that is the plan. I'm on the hunt at this moment in time to try and get someone to give me a hand, to give me the lowdown on him. Let Derby keep him, says Mark, when we're talking about Ben and Brereton Diaz. So Armstrong had a knock after training. Yeah, total bullshit corner that was. We're past 9 p.m. so we can swear as a one-off on the channel. Total bullshit, wasn't it? Absolute nonsense. Eckert was trying to protect him. Sometimes it's best to be honest. Although, I guess you're thinking, well, maybe if it didn't happen, he throws him under the bus. Recall Smallbone. Adam Blackmore did a tweet this morning, this afternoon, and he went on to say, could we see a player or two come back? Could Smallbone come back? Maybe. I don't necessarily think he will. I think we're pretty covered in midfield. Cam Bragg's not even in the matchday squad at the moment. So Tonda looked really uncomfortable every time he was pressed on Armour's knock. Yeah, it's been a really, really awkward position for him. Like young manager. Do you have a sip of my decaf tea? But yeah, it's yeah, it was difficult for him. I did look earlier. Someone did tweet actually when they were talking about Larin, and they were comparing him to Ollie McBurney, and Ollie McBurney actually when he played in the La Liga, because he played in La Liga for a season. He didn't score that many goals in La Liga, by the way, but he's come to England and he's come back to England because he was already in England. I think he was at Blackburn before, wasn't he? But he's come back and he's been brilliant. So you just never know. This guy, Larin, he may come in and be like some unbelievable, amazing player. I have a feeling that Tonda only lied to try and show the team that he has got their backs if they need it. I totally agree with that. Dragon, full of bullshit, says Justin in the chat below. Can't bring it onto the screen, Justin. Otherwise, I would put it in. He always did say if he thought he was the problem, he would leave. Are Sport Republic going to weaken the squad before the window's out? I have a feeling that there will be another bid for Taylor Harwood-Bellis. A lot of people have gone quiet on that. There's not been loads more talk about it, but a Premier League club with a bucket load of cash, there's no doubt if they really want him and they see him as a real prospect for them, I do think that he will they'll be back for another bid for him. Unfortunately, Ross Stewart will get injured. This is the problem, mate. He will get injured. And it will, I was going to come on to my next story, actually, and it kind of brings me on nicely, really. Cameron Archer's proposed deal to Rangers is in jeopardy because they still haven't tied up this deal for Larin. So once the deal's done for Larin, will they let them both go and only bring one replacement in? If they do that, I think every Southampton fan will be pretty furious, and I will be as well. Glenda the Course just tweeted a short while ago, 16 minutes ago. He said, for the people looking at that Larin's lowlights video, I think someone couldn't have put together a video of Adam. He said someone could have put a video together of Adam Armstrong missing sitters or showing a shit first touch. But then you are very sadly mistaken, says Glenda the Core. So Larin is the Archer replacement, or is he the Adam Armstrong replacement? Because you're letting two strikers go. That's what I want to know. If we were going to bring this Larin in, we would have been better. Somebody said earlier on in one of my videos, or I can't remember what it was, get chat everywhere. Basically went on to say that we would have been better off keeping Paul Onuachu, and I thought that was quite funny. Dave, thank you for tuning into the live. Dave Burt, it's great to have you here, mate. Big fan of the channel, I know. Thank you very much. Hi, Martin, just joined the stream. Why are we trying to buy a 30-year-old that has 1 goal this season? God only knows. God only knows. It's not just this season, mate. He didn't score a great deal last season, neither. Real Mallorca, he's been there for a couple of seasons, scored 14 goals. He's been there for a period of time, and he hasn't scored a lot of goals, unfortunately, which is, I think that's the big thing. Cyle Larin, I just don't know loads about him. I've just been watching videos, and you can watch videos and they show these clips of him in Turkey and he looked quite good. And then you see the clips of him recently and he looks absolutely pony. So you don't know. But then like Glenn said, you could go and clip up Adam Armstrong's misses and make him look absolutely abysmal, couldn't you? Like, you can make him look terrible. I'm going to try and break down Larin's stats for the last couple of years. I'm just looking on the transfer mark that I go on. It's quite good for getting like season stats and stuff. So this year in the league, he's had 8 appearances, no goals, 1 assist, 1 yellow card. The Europa League, he's had 7 games and just the 1 yellow card, the 1 goal, no assists this season. Last season over in Spain at Mallorca, he was involved 32 times, 7 goals, 2 assists. That was last season over in Spain. Season before that, how many goals did he score? Let's have a look. 35 appearances and scored 3 goals, 2 assists. So he's not exactly set the world alight in Spain, has he? Bless him. Be interested to see what he do in the Championship. Championship's a totally different kettle of fish, isn't it? Are you going to the Leicester away game, Martin? No, I definitely won't be going to Leicester away midweek. Not where I live. I don't really fancy waiting around at the ferry terminal for like 4 hours. So definitely not going to do that. I will do a watch along live for the league game. I will be at the FA Cup tie though, without any shadow of a doubt. I'll be there. Martin Joe Tessam said that we need a leaner squad. How lean is the question, says Mark. I totally agree, Mark. They do need a leaner squad, but I still think selling your top goal scorer, somebody that probably score another 8 to 10 goals between now and the end of the season, replacing him with a guy that's very, very unknown, I think is massively, massively risky. I'm all for clearing the decks, and I do think we need to clear these players out. I do think Armstrong's time is at an end, just not right now. I just think we need a proper replacement. Madness to let Armstrong go at this point. Why not wait till the summer? Yeah, I'm with you. This is what I've been saying all stream. It just infuriates me that going to make such a stupid decision. Yeah, craziness. Absolutely craziness. Give me all your thoughts to Cyle Larin. Do you think he's going to be a success? I think the majority of you are kind of pulling the same line as me. Nobody really sees him as being the man to fire us back to the playoffs, because inevitably that is where we want to be. We want to get back in those playoff places. That is what we want to try and do. That's got to be the aim. We need something to play for, that's for sure. So, right, I just got a contact for someone that we may be able to speak to about Larin tomorrow. So that is going to be the plan, to try and get that sorted for tomorrow. Right, last few bits of your comments before we wrap up the penultimate transfer show before tomorrow's one. Tomorrow's show will be an absolute bumper. We're going to start tomorrow 6:30, and we're going to run for the final half an hour of the window, and then we'll run for sort of like, we'll probably run it through to 8 o'clock tomorrow. So 6:30 to around 8 o'clock tomorrow. All your transfer news. We'll cover it all. We'll have a little look around the championship. May try and get a guest or two. Yes, Armstrong's contract had another year to go, Dan. He had an extension, a new deal at the start of last season. Paul is Ronaldo. A crucial point when Armour's departure is, if Armour wants to go, would he down tools rather than play to the end of the season? I think he's a professional striker. I think he's a professional person. I think he's been being professional coming back from his loan. Oh, he's been brilliant. He's been brilliant for this club. Scored one of the most, other than Bobby Stokes, he scored one of the most important goals in the club's history. And we were there. A lot of us were there to witness it. He was brilliant that season. 24 goals he scored last time around in the championship. But somebody just put, doesn't have a name attached to it. Was Armstrong one of the player power problems? Bazunu, Aribo, Archer, Armstrong all shipped out quickly in January. Are Saints making a fresh start? Well, I think absolutely they're going to be building towards it, and it's a really good point. It's a really good talking point, actually. There was a little bit of a talk of a clique. I've got to say, somebody else said this to me in the crowd yesterday. The team spirit and the vibe on the pitch yesterday was very different to what it's been. I thought there was a really good togetherness. I thought the team huddle before looked passionate, and we were close to it. They come right to the away fans to do it. So you could almost hear Jack Stevens, Harwood Bellis in there as well. They were really together, and off the ball yesterday, they worked for each other. I thought out of possession yesterday at Stoke, generally thought we worked really hard for one another. It was good to watch. Proper fighting spirit. It was they all dug in and worked for each other, and we can't say they've done that every time this season. Or was it Eckert's conversation with the players after the Hull City game when he left them in the changing room for an hour? But I've got to say, since then, the team spirit has been a lot better. Interesting, someone else said to me about Armstrong. I can't remember who it was. I think it was a young lad that came on my channel yesterday, Charlie. You can capture his chat with me at half time in the matchday vlog. He noticed when Leo scored the goal at Fratton, he said Armstrong didn't celebrate. He said he was angry that he didn't square it to him. We got to score the goal. Don't worry about squaring it. Score the goal. But there was a togetherness yesterday, and Paul has touched upon it. One of the members of the channel, Paul, thank you for being a member of this channel, was a total togetherness that he's not seen in a long time. And I totally and utterly echo what you're saying, mate, because there was yesterday. There was a really, really good togetherness from the players. And Jack Stevens was outstanding yesterday. He was brilliant. He set the tone with the tackle early on Sorbra Thomas. He's tracked, he's made a really good tackle, and he did it again afterwards. And I don't think I've seen a highlight of it. There was 2 or 3 in a space of like 5-6 minutes, and it set the whole tone for the game. And I've got to say, the criticism that he gets is really unfair at times, because I thought he was a proper leader yesterday. He put a proper good performance in. The club insults our intelligence when they said that Armstrong had a knock. I get how you're feeling. I just think that he probably didn't know what was going to happen, Eckert, and he's probably told by the media guys, you cannot comment on it. He might have been led to say, contractually, you cannot comment on it. For whatever reasons, there could have been legal bits in place with Wolves, the clubs he's speaking to, and if it fouled and they didn't accept the bid, Armstrong's then in a really difficult position. So I get you're angry, the fact that he's lied, but yeah, he's just had to protect himself or protect the player. Sorry, he's protected the player just in case, because if the deal fell through or falls through or had it done at that time, it would have been difficult for Armstrong, because people would be questioning his commitment to the cause and everything else. Stevens is better at organising others than himself. Yeah, he needs to organise himself as well. Totally agree with that. Super Jack. Yeah, he was good yesterday. It was a good performance. Thank you for all your chat, by the way. I'm really sorry I can't get it up on the screen. It's really infuriating, because that is the best part about this show, is bringing you into the chat. And I can't see how I've used all my quota today when I did an hour stream this morning, and now I can't pull any of the chat through. It refreshes at midnight, but it should be getting far more than what I'm getting out of it at the moment, which is it's annoying. We'll get that fixed for tomorrow for sure. Keep your chat coming. Final 5 minutes of the live stream this evening. I've really enjoyed doing these. I'm going to miss them a little bit when the window closes, but what I will do is I will do a few more watch-alongs of other games. So I'll stream still, but I can't talk about transfers, so we will I will change that, by the way. I've got dyslexia, so I freaking type things wrong all the time. But thank you for the heads up. I will update that in a minute. Love Cienza, love Downs, love Stevens after the performance at Pompey. Love Downs yesterday and the tackle at Pompey. Proper Saints. Yeah, that's what we want to see. I believe Peretz has a lot to do with the organising of his defence. Yeah, he's been really good. Thought he was good yesterday. He punches a lot, doesn't he? Does punch a lot. Do you feel that's a negative or a positive? I thought he was good yesterday. When he was called upon, 2 massive saves, and that's it's vital at those moments in the game. And we needed him to make those saves. We needed those saves. The one that he tips onto the post is just like insanely good. I really enjoyed it yesterday. I'm really glad I went. And someone else said to me in my match day vlog, they went on to say they're really glad they got up early and went yesterday. And a lot of people left really early for that game yesterday, because it was a 12:30 kickoff. Sky getting a bit of stick from the Saints fans, and rightly so. They got some proper. Look out for the videos on that. Really funny. Jason's football page over on YouTube here. If you type it in, you'll see all the fan chants from yesterday. They were singing "We Love Our Fire Sticks," and Sky TV is effing shit. It was absolutely hilarious yesterday. Great stuff from the away end at the end. Dodgy kicking from the goalkeeper, but who cares? He does what he's supposed to do, and he stops shots. Absolutely, that's what we want him to do. He's conceded 1, so not worried at the moment. There will be tests. Watford at the weekend, they've sacked their manager. Well, their manager's left. They've not sacked him. He's left. We'll get the lowdown on Watford in the coming days on the channel, and we'll do the whole pre-match build-up as usual. Plenty of content coming your way on the channel this week. Looking forward to bringing you everything that I've got planned. Deadline day tomorrow. Make sure you tune in from 6:30. I will try and catch up with Football Dad tomorrow and get some of his thoughts about everything, and bring a little video drop from him and drop that into the transfer show tomorrow evening, and may get a guest or two on if we can pull it all together. But for now, I hope you've had a great weekend. Good 3 points yesterday. I know there's a little bit of negativity around the transfer window, but there is just short of 24 hours until it closes. Lots can happen. Loads of things can change quickly in football. Football is a funny old sport at times. A massive shout out to the sponsors of tonight's show, DNS Carpets. This show is powered by DNS Carpets. So if you need carpet on the Isle of Wight, you know exactly where to go, and make sure you do mention the channel. And a big shout out to every single member and patron of this channel. You were mentioned at the end. Good night, take care, and I'll see you soon.